Alright, guys, so today we're doing Team Lunch stream, so let's get started. There we go. Hello. Welcome back. It's once again, it's another day of streaming. This time we're gonna watch some weather. Bang.
Tornado department. But for now, this is a hailer, a big hailer at that. Potential for 10 assaults in tornado department. But for now, this is a hailer, and a big hailer at that. Potential for 10 assault size hail in southwestern Denton County, now in far southeastern Wisetown. North Lake, 844, Argyle, 859. Corinth, 920, Lake Gas, 924, Oak Point to Lakewood Village, 932 to 934. Eventually, this thunderstorm may impact the city of Woodline at 9:40 p.m. Notice how this thunderstorm seems to be tailing surely. We don't really have anything else going on south and southeast of it right now. That's why we call it tailing Charlie. And these are often the strongest thunderstorms in the squall line itself or a cluster. And notice we're not really dealing with the squall line, but we're dealing with cluster of storms will cook Grayson counties, kind of a rainy, blobby dew mess in Collin County with some lightning. This is a prop. Fact, I'm going to go live on VFW Scanner. Make sure we got our live
Splinter,
and everything.
Hasley, Justin.
Hi.
I said Justin. Johnson.
Hi, Johnny.
Saginaw, Watauga, Mansfield.
All right, we're live on VFW Scanner. It's 8:33 p.m. on the 4th of April, 2022. I'm Texas Storm Chaser Quality and Chief. We are tracking a supercell thunderstorm capable of producing 10 size hail. Now entering southwestern Stanton County. This thunderstorm is now Highway 287 northeast of Rome. Potential assault 10 size hail over the next.
We have some major breaking news as NASCAR bring Austin in playoff wave. What's going on is Daniel and welcome back. As I just said, we got some pretty massive major breaking news this evening as Aspen has received in playoff wave for the 2025 NASCAR City Series playoffs. That's what they say in the statement today. NASCAR reports Zach Jones report as well. NASCAR officials are draining labor to Austin Hill the sanctioned body announced Tuesday, along with the number 21 Group Choice Racing Chevrolet driver to remain eligible for the NASCAR Series playoffs despite missing last minute race at Iowa State.
Crayon Jackson.
Disney's a little and Stitch. See the all new movie. Wait, PG.
Hey, when the season, several cars the wrong turn.
Tornado. So now this is a halo. And a big halo at that extends over 10 size hail. And these are often strong thunderstorms, only the small one.
Rancho King, Mises King Ranch.
But we're dealing with
Igor, check out where you're from.
kind of a rainy, long, mess in Colorado. It's a light wind. This is a problem. I'm going to go live on VFW Scanner. Make sure we've got it live. Publishing is at the negative news. All right, we're live on VFW Scanner. It's 8:33 p.m. on the 4th of April, 2022. I'm Texas Storm Chaser Colby and Chief. We are tracking a supercell thunderstorm capable of producing 10 size hail. Now
Marshall Creek, Bottom Mountain, Northwood,
Highway 287, northeast of
Boyd,
potential golf tennis ball size hail over the next 15 minutes in places like Northlake, Justin, Pearl City on I-35W, and Arvine. This thunderstorm continues on its present track. It doesn't turn a little further southeast. This could be an issue in about 30 minutes for Corinth, Lake Dallas, Island Village, Lakewood Village, and then in about 50 minutes for Woodland. If this turns a little more right, which is possible, given the fact it's the dominant supercell now, it could be more of a threat to places like Double Oak and Louisville. Right now, you're not dealing with any sort of spinning mischief but we're keeping a very close eye on it because this is what we call it. I'll get mad if you see that nothing south and southeast.
I'll be right back. I'm gonna go grab my charger.
Dallas County, it's clear as a whistle. You can probably see this storm 800 miles away looking northwest at it. Nothing is impeding the warm, unstable inflow of those southeast winds. And over the last hour, we've seen low-level wind shear increase a bit over the metro. Again, there's no tornado warnings right now. The main issue is large, frankly, destructive hail. But we definitely want to be mindful of the fact that the tornado watch in place, and we may end up having spinning mischief at some point. So we'll keep an eye on it. Again, nothing that indicates that right now. The main issue right now is going to be large hail. Potentially tennis ball style. It's raining and pouring in most of Denton County, Collin County, Grayson County, Cook County. We've got additional storms in western North Texas. Looks like we should have a bit of hail now west of Breckenridge, maybe some downside. Very heavy rainfall, probably some flooding on 183 and 180 over to Fort Griffin. I remember what it was called. But again, this thunderstorm in southwestern Denton County is a new one in the hail department. It's going to be 10-12 size hail, which will be a lot of things, and none of them are good. This does continue on its present track. North Lake Argyle correction. If it turns a little bright, it's going to be close to Coral City, Penguin Village, Double Oak, maybe even Lewiston. If it turns a little southeast. Again, it's going through the east at about 25 miles an hour. United Forces, right out 9.5 9.8 for 633 for Lake Dallas, 87. But if it turns a little more right, this is going to be more of an issue to the south side of the Lake Dallas, kind of Village, Double Oak, and Lewiston. Is that the way you see?
Chico.
No tornado issues right now. No tornado warning right now. Issue is large hail, but we're keeping an eye on things just in case we have any sort of spinning mischief occur. Here, I'll just Jason Clearly. That video you see in the top right section of the screen. He is currently at 380 and 377 crossroads. He's going to probably be going south to intercept this thunderstorm on the east side of Louisville Lake. Bottom right corner, Stephen Jones and Trey Greenwood. They are on 1171, coming up on Brittle Ward Boulevard. They're in east of 35 east. What they're doing is they are taking into account the fact there's traffic, rural roads, it's not a highway, so they're actually getting ahead of the storm, so they can stay ahead of it and intercept it. So again, this thing could be dropping 10 small size hail. That is 2.5 inches in diameter. That is more than enough to go through your skull and give you one heck of a head. By head, I've done something far worse. Look at that. Meteorologist Jason Cooley just got a cool lightning strike on video. Again, he's up on 380 right now near Crossroads heading east. So even though these storms up a little further northeast don't look as vicious in the hail,
Oh, wait. Commercial break.
little areas.
We'll be right back. Or my friend is
We don't want
going.
anybody going up 377 Avenue Hope at the moment. We haven't heard of any reports at this point of a tornado down, but I have no doubt there's at least damaging winds ongoing in the city of Aubrey right now. And that'll be moving towards Salina. Areas north of Prosper. The city of Prosper itself is technically in this tornado warning polygon, which runs until 9:30 p.m. Those just joining us, I'll turn on the radar so you can see the red box, the tornado warning polygon. You are in this red box. You're in the tornado warning. If you're outside of the red box, you're not. You don't need to worry about it. So those of you in Gunter, Salina, Prosper, Weston, Powell, Van Alsten, and Melissa, you're in the tornado warning. That means you take action. If you're in Tioga, you're in St. You can't help but slow down. WFA has been getting calls for hours from several frustrated residents wanting to get their power back on. Encore says its crews are working around the clock to get the job done, but it's been about 5 days in the dark for most people, and for some, it's seemed like now it's on that 16th day that caused all of this. One family started putting dry ice in their refrigerator to keep their food cold, and they said candles at night to stay in the dark. This is a huge tornado about to enter right into Little Rock, Arkansas, a major city with over 500,000 people. The tornado went on to destroy hundreds of homes at EF3 intensity. And the city was extremely lucky the tornado wasn't stronger. Unfortunately, though, some cities aren't as lucky as the people in Little Rock were that day. And while extremely rare, the results of mixing strong tornadoes with huge cities is terrifying. Like, for instance, 1953, Waco, Texas, tornado just after 4:30 p.m. on May 11th, a large thunderstorm began to move over the downtown area, prompting people walking in the streets to rush into various high-rise buildings to shelter from the rain. Fewer people anticipated a tornado, mainly due to the heavy rain squandering any chance of sighting a tornado, but also in part due to a local Native American legend that rumored no tornadoes could hit Waco due to the city being located in a geological depression without appropriate measures being taken. There is looking at
The town is gone.
it's 8:30 p.m. Thousands of people in the town of Rolling Fork, Mississippi, are completely unaware of what's coming straight for them. Meteorologists were buzzing with anticipation on Tuesday as they spotted a high chance for. It's 8:30 p.m. Thousands of people in the town of Rolling Fork, Mississippi, are completely unaware of what's coming straight for them. Meteorologists were buzzing with anticipation on Tuesday as they spotted a high chance for severe weather developing in the southern United States. While not entirely unusual, the predictions caught the attention of weather enthusiasts and professionals alike. So what was the culprit? Well, the trough was situated in the upper levels of the atmosphere. The trough is basically a long line of low pressure, and it's known for its potential to spawn loud storms and tornadoes. The trough would set the seeds across the country. By Wednesday, it became clear that something was brewing down south. The storm prediction center, the SPC, issued an enhanced risk score, a level of 3 out of 5. From Louisiana is reported a rare move by the FTC to release such a warning so early. Hinted at a storm, the actual danger remained uncertain. Unfortunately, the people in the region were still hearing just how severe the storm is going to be. As the situation developed, the SBC ramped up the warning to a rare moderate risk, and even rare 15% hacked risk for tornadoes.
To clarify, this didn't mean a 15% chance of tornadoes happening, but rather a 50% chance of each dangerous EF2 plus tornado occurring within 25 miles of any point. With the increasing likelihood of some sort of tornado outbreak, thousands of people began to prepare. Meteorologist Reed Timmer tweeted, "Concerning forecaster Friday, with tornado outbreak possible with potential for strong to violent tornadoes. This one has the potential for big problems." Despite the ominous warnings, many residents in southern states were not paying attention. No concern tonight. States after going throughout the overnight road and get into central park in Tennessee, and they need to do something. So be aware of that. The town of Oakport begins in the day. You can get this fixed now and pay later.
Oh,
You can get this fixed now and pay later. And this, get it fixed now and pay later in 4 interest.
Want to take the next step with video? Then it's time to talk to your broker provider. With Antigio E, you're able to pay a payment $5 per day.
Many people opt for break. Businesses such as the local animal shelter are open and active. A lost dog being found by the owners a few days prior. Everything's running as a typical morning would, but up above the clouds, something very strange was brewing. The air was very unstable. School meteorologists used water vapor imagery indicated the trough was getting stronger. While warm, moist air from the Gulf was positioned almost perfectly. Around 5 p.m. local time, thunderstorms were quickly maturing in Louisiana. The unique aspect of these storms is that although they are currently quite chaotic, they are all spaced out and they're full of energy, creating perfect, powerful environments for something that all we need to do was maintain momentum to the east, where they get favorable conditions to start spinning. Storms start spinning, you consider that a supercell. What makes it super is rotation. When a storm rotates, extreme weather anomalies. Hail, bursts of wind, floods, very powerful light, and of course, a tornado watch was issued at Virginia, covering an enormous stretch of land between Mississippi, Louisiana, Arkansas, and Tennessee. Judging by how disorganized the setup was, people were slowly doing fancy about everything was actually going to happen. Storms still need to move into an ideal spot of low pressure. It was impossible to tell if they actually were. Additionally, moisture and heat energy that supercells strive on is diminished as the sun set. That was until one particular supercell. For this particular cell, again, very close to highway 1, the intriguing supercell soon became convincing. As it visibly expanded, it was rapidly spinning, producing a large size hail and rain. Based on radar data, the National Weather Service decided to issue a tornado. This large tornado warning stretched through multiple counties across Mississippi. But that supercell had actually spawned a tornado. Even still, the radar showed a rotation signature for a tight point or two contracting wind direction beats. This essentially shows extremely fast rotational motion. At this point, it was literally a matter of minutes for the supercell to produce something. 7:57 p.m. The degree signature occurs on the top of the lofty signature. This proved that here is part of a measure of correlation double. It essentially shows things that aren't supposed to be clouds. Color is very different. It's hard to signify things of trees, dirt, and even chunks of stones. This was unmistakably the start of a tornado. A very weak tornado started in the farm, carrying up nothing more than a couple of crops. Soon, it crossed its first major road, Vermont Street, as if driven by some sort of supernatural force. The messy lake vortex gained intensity with an alarming speed, first turning into a barrel shape before morphing into a tornado wider than a base tall. Storm chasers are now here capturing images of the tornado and cross-referencing this footage along with damage analysis so you can predict the tornado's inner funnels was over a quarter mile wide. Its damaging wind field stretching over.
yo,
Experts consider this a wedge tornado. The combination of both storm chaser sightings and destruction evident from radar imagery prompted the National Weather Service to issue a very rare tornado emergency around a small town northeast of the storm. This town was Rolling Fork, Mississippi. Right now, the tornado was almost completely invisible to the naked eye, as heavy rain that took the pitch black sky obstructed it from any view. By 8:05, the tornado crossed its first residential area. A stretch of 3 homes along the big bus roads. An electrical transformer explodes, producing a large blue light, also known as a power flash. This was the first time a tornado was both in an inhabited area and also causing damage so violent it was literally ripping metal apart. This home was being brought closer to the core of the tornado as its roof completely torn off. But the tornado is still intensifying the projected path of the tornado as it technically speeds, so with any brush the edge of the areas, not even make a direct hit to the town. However, just after crossing Indian Bar Road, the tornado deviated more to the east, setting up for a perfect impact on the Indian Bayou subdivision. The tornado was only strengthening from its point forward. Into the road of the subdivision, and almost a perfect bullseye, wiping every single home on the street off of its foundation. Trees area became so damaged that the literal box was ripped off. Images afterward showed that signs had their feet chipped off, and unfortunately, the first several indicators of its catastrophic tornado
Right here.
were trees and homes in the subdivision. By 10:30 p.m., however, there is no such story. The tornadoes associated with the Florida State supercell deservedly get up. On the evening of December 10th, 2021, a worrying combination of atmospheric conditions would lead to a devastating outbreak of tornadoes across the Mississippi and Ohio valleys. The consequences would shake the region to its core.
When you think of December, you normally wouldn't expect to hear much about tornadoes. However, in 2021, December tornadoes were anything but scarce. This EF4 tornado happened on December 10th, 2021, in the Boothville, Missouri. And this is the same storm a few hours later. A different tornado completely decimating the entire town of Mayfield, Kentucky, which would eventually go on to break records. In this video, we're going to take a look at the events that caused this to happen and dive deeper into one of the most historic December tornado outbreaks, one of the most historic tornadoes in history. Caused this to happen and dive deeper into one of the most historic December tornado outbreaks, one of the most historic tornadoes in history. Statistically, the most active tornado period of a year is generally during the months of March through May. Some people will, however, many managers realize that tornadoes aren't exactly uncommon during the late season into the winter months.
President Donald Trump was spotted on top of the roof of the White House.
That's this area right here, and soon began showing signs of intense rotation. And before long, the supercell dropped its first tornado in Ellis County. This EF3 produced widespread damage, especially across the community of Ovia, which this area footage is showing. Nearly 80 homes would be. In the mid-afternoon, the storm fired in the open one sector, that's this area right here, and soon began showing signs of intense rotation. And before long, the supercell dropped its first tornado in Ellis County. This EF3 produced widespread damage, especially across the community of Ovia, which this area footage is showing. Nearly 80 homes would be damaged, with over 20 being completely demolished. Miraculously, no one was killed. After this tornado misses, the storm began to recycle. Recycling is a common process that supercells undergo, in which a tornado will form, that tornado will lift, the storm will drop another tornado, and the process will repeat. And this storm was no exception. Soon after the Ellis County tornado lifted, the storm entered Dallas County and put down another tornado just west of Sunnyvale
In a particularly dangerous situation, tornado warning would be issued. Immediately, the tornado began to intensify as it strengthened to EF2 intensity and reaching nearly a quarter-mile wide. As it passed over a small group of homes, it ripped off roofs and exteriors of homes and snapped trees. The tornado then crossed over primarily unpopulated areas, only producing minor damage to trees as the tornado moved through small forests and open fields before producing more significant EF2 damage to an RV park as some of the homes were tossed, flipped, or completely destroyed. Then, almost like it was waiting, the tornado began to re-intensify rapidly, just as it was entering populated areas just northeast of Dallas. This began its march through Garland, as the tornado continued to intensify, plowing through suburban neighborhoods. Videos of this tornado are outright terrifying, as a now half-mile wide wedge, completely invisible in the dark of the night, tears through communities, only visible by the occasional lightning strike. The tornado would only continue to strengthen, reaching maximum intensity as a well-constructed home along Crest Point Lane would be completely destroyed. Many vehicles would also be lifted, crushed, and tossed long distances, landing in piles of debris left often unrecognizable. It was also near this location that one of the most infamous videos from this tornado was filmed by the Base Hunters.
Massive. Oh my gosh, it's hitting some.
As power lines were struck, power slashes illuminated the huge wedge tornado during its path through Garland. Shortly after, while still at EF4 intensity, it struck a large apartment complex, and many of the residences were either heavily damaged or destroyed entirely. All of the apartment buildings were considered uninhabitable and were ordered to be torn down. Buildings in the vicinity of the apartments also met the same fate, which included a public storage facility off of Locust Grove Road. This aerial footage shows the sheer extent of the destruction, as the areas of southeastern Garland were flat. Homes were destroyed, vehicles were mangled and tossed, and trees were debarked. Miraculously, while crossing through these neighborhoods, no fatality occurred in these homes. However, this tornado would tragically soon become deadly. On Interstate 30, many cars were still driving on the highway when the tornado was approaching, which was spelling a recipe for disaster. The invisible tornado struck the interstate, in the process hitting the vehicles that were on the highway, resulting in them being locked in danger, many with their occupants still inside the time of impact. The result was 9 people losing their lives, all of whom were still inside of their vehicles when the tornado crossed over the interstate. This is a reminder that vehicles are not safe places to be in tornadoes. In fact, they are one of the worst places to be. If you're ever caught in your vehicle with an approaching tornado, the best thing to do is exit your vehicle and find a nearby ditch or lower in the ground. Then lay down and cover your head. After crossing over Interstate 30, the tornado made its way over Lake Gray Public before crossing into the city limits at Broward, another battle site. Yet again, many homes in the area experienced extensive damage, either losing large portions of their roofs or walls or being destroyed entirely. Sadly, one man in this area of Broward lost his life as he was sheltering when his home was hit by the tornado. After crossing over his communities, the tornado began crossing Lake Gray Public again, and shortly after, at 7:02 p.m., it broke out over the water, marking the end of the 13-mile path. By the end of it all, the tornado would tragically take the lives of 10, injure 468, and leave mass devastation across the communities of Garland and Broward. Over 600 communities and businesses were either damaged or destroyed completely, and many buildings that were damaged. And reported that in Anderson, the sitting in War, Oklahoma, he was burned from his Canada to recording and soon the city in function. May 27, 1997, Jordan stood up in the Plains Jail, Texas, 23 seconds later, Minnesota. 15 minutes later, another. What the photographer didn't know, this is just 8 minutes, 27 lives to disappear. Literally. In the days leading up to the ominous tornado, forecast and the for areas of highlighted high likelihood of thunderstorms. Possibilities follows a couple of scenarios. This calculates the estimated, but it's still very concerned. Maybe some moderate risk in the local area. The risk of a pattern near the estimate is not really concerned. It's honestly pretty usual for that area. By like setting
One.
jail for two residential group stats, many residents no residents held it out. No allowing their residents from by humans. The ticket stone from the top line in the east. We just went through the the risk of tornadoes is still expected to be relatively small. The unbeknownst to those meteorologists and residents. So, but concerning fluctuations begins with the atmosphere of the small these fluctuations could be insignificant for the perfect listening. For its resilience against heat suddenly finds itself at the mercy of two brutal winter storms. Families are left grappling with the unprecedented cold and days-long power outages. It soon becomes a life-threatening situation. We'll unravel the great Texas freeze from how it became a record holder to all the ways this could have been less devastating. The cold front hit that Wednesday. The electric utility crews said they were prepared to respond to all reports of power outages. But this could not have been further from the truth. The next morning, the first weather advisory was issued in northwest Texas. Isolated freezing rain began falling and expanded to neighboring counties after sunset. At 6:30 p.m.,
No, I'm not watching that.
slides off the Pittsburgh International Airport taxiway. With no report of injuries, passengers were on the aircraft for 3 hours before disembarking. It would be another 24 hours before the plane was removed from the runway. While the Delta incident was quickly managed, it was only the first taste of what would become as the situation in Texas escalated rapidly. Hours later, the Fort Worth 911 center was inundated with desperate calls. In mere minutes, this storm would become one of the most infamous natural disasters in modern American history. But how did it come to this? Just days before, the EF5 tornado ripped through Moore, Oklahoma, leaving the state stunned. It was a brutal reminder of nature's fury. But while the people of Oklahoma tried to recover, the atmosphere had other plans. Another powerful weather system began forming right behind it. Meteorologists spotted a deep trough in the atmosphere. June 23rd, 1998, Nebraska. The day started. June 23rd, 1998, Nebraska. The day started peacefully until an intense noise from an airplane shattered the stillness. But an aircraft shouldn't have been there. And it wasn't.
You need to keep on talking. There's a gringo something.
Hernandez, left field. It's deep. Watch Johnson from third. Chris Johnson is coming after Hernandez. That's who is jumping at him. And now the bench is empty. They're all in for taking a seat. Dietrich admiring that one. He's homered for the second time again. Statcast has 436. Cervelli, word, Dietrich. Crossman win first time. And the looking Reds manager right out there. No strangers to Big League ball. Big League career. Now there's Josh Bell. He came out there right away. He tried to run Junior and gets the curse on the board. It's gone.
Depot difference between their legs was took a long time staring at that one. They had a Castro here the other night. But we'll get to said something to Rizzo about it. Anthony Cano just that's something to say to him at the plate. Right up here, I got right in there. My sister said, I said a little discussion like that. Again, whatever Batista and Suzuki said to one another, they seem to work it out very quickly. He throws it back. The ball goes flying and he's gone. And the Royals tied it. And Maldonado gets right in Anderson's face after Keller throws him at the first pitch. Give you a disclaimer. I'm not blaming either side, but this is not the first time. Eventually, he's going to come out. They're going to go at it again. The managers are screaming, listen, for Kansas City, and now we're going to do it again. Well, the Brady has to make sure that for the home run. Down. Maybe Flowers decided to get in the middle of that conversation, saying, Flowers about the good pitch, and that's not his place. But I want to have a little beef with the umpire, but when he has a beef, that might have been it. Number 16, 4 touchdowns. Flowers Contreras I don't know what's going on. Something about what Contreras did after the homer. I never think Contreras was really pointing toward the Braves dugout as he made his way around the bases after his solo homer the other way. So let the kids play. All right, you can let them play. The base is loaded. And Foster with a grand slam home run. The 13th of another look at 19. This by the pitch and then charging against Tom Niedenfuhr. Niedenfuhr has allowed 6 home runs in 27 innings of work. Foster. And he hits out on high and deep left center field, way back and gone. I think Brian McCann's pretty busy doing all the talking. And Gomez starts to probably just standing there watching it. That's now Reed Johnson comes out and lands right close to Gomez. Clevenger as well. That was a monster.
Everyone's still waiting for one. No warning. What the best? The best Walkman. Which one should I watch? The best Walkman. And where? They call it Jared. Jared Texas. Gerald. No, it's in Texas. It's in Texas. It's not much of work. It's in the southwest of Texas.
Gerald from Town Heritage in the firing line program to 1 p.m. CET. No cloud appears in the sky. Zooming out, a full tornado struck down in Moon, Texas. The tornado meandered over a mobile home before destroying it and immediately dissipated. This odd tornado behavior would certainly not be a third time instead. Another tornado struck down from Supercell, and then another, and another, all beautiful and all incredibly. 3 o'clock p.m. The storm is at 5 miles northeast of Gerald. Drawing closer, it is now with a solid weather conditions start to display. As it's an instant, as a blue light tornado reaches down from the storm cloud. Although rather small, its size is deceitful. Within the narrow funnel, the winds are already very intense. In hay bales of trees, unfortunate enough to be struck, are shredded to instant. This shredding of anything it would touch shrouds the base of funnel in dust. As it passes less than 1,000 yards near the small community of Perryville, the farm side is shut. The tornado is now even more dangerous, as it shrouded in sharp metal and sparkling wood. It just as it seemed from its intensifying to suddenly begin. The residents of Gerald have sighed of relief. Immediately as its narrow lanes to passes, a little bit of now. Mother Nature is coming up for a trip. In less than a minute, a stronger dust cloud swirls up from the ground. A large, cone-shaped funnel begins to descend from the sky. Within the sudden chaos, a strange phenomenon follows. Several different funnels begin to appear, holding the distinct look of a multi-vortex tornado. Unique and intense. Scott Beckwith is working at Gerald Farms Spot when over the business's weather radio. He hears word of a tornado in general. Stepping outside, he rounds the building to the east, where he quickly spots some massive snake slithering in the sky. In a rush, he runs back in and grabs his camera, taking pictures of what he's seeing. The first image looks straight out of the movie, and the one following show a gorgeous twister dancing around in the sky. A brief gap occurs in the images until the next one's taken, but this one showed something much more sinister. What was initially a small, little tornado.
There's dust.
Now formed into a messy, large vortex, with copious amounts of dust spraying outwards. In the next image, the tornado appears to go even larger, and as the tornado progresses, the debris cloud briefly disappears, the beast emerges. The next image, however, would be one of the most infamous images ever taken of a tornado. The tangle of vortices.
Oh my goodness. This is called the Dead Man. The Dead Man Walking the Hills in Jarrett, Texas. Oh.
Paint a picture of lights and motion. The tornado is walking. This type of image dates back centuries to ancient urban legend. It is called the Dead Man Walking tornado. Not only is this a terrifying description, it would morbidly allude what was about to occur. In mere minutes, the tornado would practically walk into chairs. Once it is believed that the Dead Man Walking image is taken, the tornado begins to tear up the ground. The cotton field, 18 inches of soil is scoured away, exposing the bedrock. This ground scattering is showing that in some strange evolution.
I was expecting a tunnel slab. They're working. It was all the way across. Big, dark, black. It was really total construction.
It was too hard to run. And talking about the damage to storms and that survived it, but anything except the weight of attack.
I was just going through it. I'm talking about everything. The house is taken. The floor is taken. That's how you normally go into. Well, go on.
They said, hey, I'm going to buy you over here, and I'm going to buy you over here. And nobody could tell that service in the figure.
What did you do to let it get out? That people get stepped out immediately to buy color, to buy donate, to buy comfort, to do all of their stuff that they not just for a day, but for a long time after.
Jared.
I'm very good. A lot of things in life are out of our control.
And 20 years ago, May 27th, 1997, Mother Nature took everything from the town of Gerald. The tornado that touched down took 27 people away from the wildfire.
The survivor stories are heartbreaking. They describe images most of us could unmatch.
We need to do those bills. What you get is bill.
Unless you have an underground shelter, you're in trouble. Every day last night, we left kind of bored.
There's a risk side, there were livestock and falls all over the place. We did not cover everybody in their entirety. I saw a lady with bottom on.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome in. I'm Chris Ratcliffe.
And I'm Leslie Graffin. 25 years ago today, a tornado took
25 years later, Good evening, everyone, and welcome in. I'm Chris Ratcliffe.
and I'm Leslie Graffin. 25 years ago today, a tornado tore through Texas.
No. Yeah, okay. I'm not let me get the thing back if I want to. But I ain't money.
Hey, I'm Central Texas real destructive storm create heartache. A lot of people in the area are still walking around trying to figure out what's next. The government of the nation businesses closed. Some Central Texas without income. I'm sure that a lot of people who are in the same situation. Homeowners are managing that. looking at their neighborhood in shambles.
What's the top 10? And I'll find you the top 10. Give me this one. Run, man. You know what? Like these walking away from the man.
Some are going to the bright light, others the dark predicament policy. Most of the harm is breaking over little farmland, others are little space scenarios. I've been fishing tornadoes since 1999. These are my top 10 best tornadoes. For storm chasers, up close tornadoes are often experienced through shaky viewfinders while navigating through chaos and stress. Find yourself just the right spot, just market Mother Nature's magic. Number 10 on the countdown was an extremely close, freakish, stationary tornado. A beautiful angel of death, twirling with all the mystery of the valley of its ghost. For an eternal minute,
Oh. Time. Physical call. Whatever. That's what you feel, man. Hang on. Yo sé, ni en su turn to handle wrong. Wrong. Yo sé, ni en su turn to handle. Like, let's pop out.
these are the legend, piece of the deadness of the if you see them as tornado.
You know the 41st? Oh my, that was scary. Let me tell you, your life is about to end. Well, I'm gonna take Jared. Oh, Jared.
They can lift buildings from their foundations and smash the dirt rough in seconds. They can strip a landscape bare of all living things. Get caught in their
Oh, Chris.
Unprecedented wave of
One more video. Huh? Huh? No. Garcia music? That was a costume. That was back in 2007. And Jared, why did we call it Jared? Jericho was to continue. Alright, guys. So, in the streets, we'll see you tomorrow.